Hello students. The second topic in our series for the cue cards for January to April 2017 is an interesting neighbor. You have to describe an interesting neighbor of yours, how long you have known this neighbor, what sort of person she is, how often do you see him or her, and explain what kind of relation you have with him or her, and explain why you consider this person to be an interesting neighbor. I have a very good neighborhood and lots of my neighbors are really cooperative and they help me out in my tough times and in good times as well. They help me celebrate. But the one neighborhood or the neighbor that I like very much are my auntie who lives just next door and her daughter and her husband. They live in a joint family, though their joint family has many members, but these three immediate members are very close to me. Their son, Kali, he lives in Australia. He is also a very good friend, but he gets very little time as he lives in a different time zone and I don't get to meet him much. But whenever he comes to India, he extends a very good help. He is a very jolly person. Whenever I go to their home or they visit my home, I feel like family. And auntie often makes good things, like she cooks a lot. She makes tea, which is very good. Sometimes I miss the tea of my mother. My wife also makes very good tea and food. So whenever we gather together, we always cook. And we sit in the sun sometimes and we have a very good time together. She feels as if her own son has come back when I go to her and she really wants me to visit her regularly. My Didi Gurmeet Kaur, who lives next door again with the old mother, she is also so kind, so helpful. She is like a sister to me, of course, and my wife also interacts a lot with her. Whenever they have to go to the market, they go together. The younger kid that they have, Praneeth, is very jolly, mischievous, and she's also a very sincere child. When I go sit with them, she's always bringing something like a drawing or mathematics problems or the homework that she has done she got from school and she wants me to check it out. And the stars that sometimes she gets from her teachers, she shares with us. So this is the neighbor that I have just described. They are very interesting, very sincere and close to me, like a family. Do you think neighbors are important? Of course, good neighborhood changes your life. The neighbors are our immediate best friends who are living next door to us in case of good times, bad times. They are always there to extend their help. What are the qualities of a good neighbor? The first quality of a good neighbor is that they should respect each other. They should have some respectful relationship with each other. They should not interfere unnecessarily into each other's life, but whenever required, they should extend a helping hand. Do most Indian people know their neighbors? Yes, they do. In towns and cities which are small or in villages, they do know each other very much. But when it comes to metropolitan cities or big cities, very few people know each other and they don't like interfering into each other's life. They don't even know who's living next door. Now, what most people watch a lot of TV. Now that most people watch a lot of TV, how do you think this has affected people's relationships with their neighbors? It's true that watching a lot of TV has destroyed the relationships with the neighbors as people don't go out into the neighborhood and instead they sit at home, watch TV programs, watch movies 24 hours. Channels are providing so many programs all the time, interesting programs, that whatever spare time you have, if you spend it on TV, you don't have time for your neighbors. And it's really a bad thing. Instead, you should go to your neighbors, see what their problems are, or cheerful moments should be spent with them. Like tomorrow is Lodi. I remember when we were young kids, the whole neighborhood used to get together, but I think now people just sit at home, watch TV, and celebrate Lodi. So they are interacting with each other less these days because of TV. How should modern people communicate with their neighbors? The modern people should communicate with their neighbors by inviting them to lunches and dinners. They should have some weekly parties or kitty parties. They should have some way of community work. They should discuss problems of their community with each other and sit together whenever possibly they can. What are some of the qualities of a good community? They should, first of all, work together like a team. They should think of what are the bad things happening in their community so that we can make it better. Like if there is some plot empty where people keep dumping their waste, there should be an awareness program or a community gathering that this should be stopped because it spreads diseases. Then if anyone needs help in the community, there should be a gathering again. They should gather funds together and help each other out. In India, are there any facilities for improving relationships between neighbors? Yes, there are many facilities for improving relationships with neighbors. I live in Punjab, so I know that there are some community halls provided by the government where people can gather together, and they often organize some community meetings also with the mayor or the commissioner of the municipal council, and some certain programs are charted out by the government, and they help the neighborhoods become aware about their immediate needs and create an awareness through newspapers or flyers or even announcements that something is going on in the neighborhood. So these kind of facilities improve relationships between neighbors as a sense of community is developed by the government. Do you think it's important to teach children how to have good relations with neighbors? Absolutely. It's very important and crucial as they are the future of our country. As responsible neighbors, they would play a major role in changing their community and influencing the coming generations too by inculcating the same values. So it's very important that we aware the children as to how important they are to the community and what is their role and responsibility and what are their duties and rights and the rules and regulations that they should bound to obey. Yeah, it's very important to teach them. What is the best kind of neighbor for a child to have? The one neighbor who plays with them, has got a sense of humor, helps them in their homework and guides them, coaches them, trains them, and also sets an example maybe himself by being a good citizen or being a good professional and telling the children to follow the right path. So these kind of neighbors become the best neighbors for children. Is it important for children to grow up in a good neighborhood? Absolutely. There's no doubt. That's why people put in a lot of efforts in purchasing a house in a good community. They want good neighborhood around them. The better the neighborhood, the better the upbringing of the children. The children will definitely learn good things. So yes, they need to be brought up in a good neighborhood. How do people of neighborhood become friends? They become friends, one, by inviting each other over lunches or dinners. Maybe a chance possibility is that they see each other in distress, in problem, or maybe when they're shifting, the neighbors automatically come to help them out to put their luggage or their boxes from the truck into their house and letting them getting settled, maybe cooking for them as soon as the new mover comes into the neighborhood, a new community, new family. They interact with each other one way or the other, and this is how they become friends, by the first hand interaction, by extending a helping hand to the new family coming into the neighborhood. Thank you.